Hello everyone and welcome back to the 25 Cards of Christmas, where we celebrate the holiday season through Magic the Gathering. We are 8 days into December and of course, we get another gift to open. Let's see what we got. Well you knew it was bound to happen. It's our first goblin of the season, Zada Hedron Grinder. You know, as a goblin ally, you're not so bad. Although I must admit, you were a huge whiff during my BFZ pre-release. However, I can't hold that against this card. I've been playing with this spell-loving goblin since day one. But I wonder, what's the story behind Zada? Zada is a goblin from the plane of Zendikar, a world battered and brought to heel by the colorless titans known as Eldrazi. Before the release of these monsters, and the subsequent fallout of an extinction level event, Zendikar was home to numerous different species, including goblins. The goblins of this plane are much like those found throughout the multiverse. They're characterized by their diminished intelligence, small stature, and fondness for shiny things. Zada belongs to a specific tribe of goblins known as the Tuktuk tribe, who are renowned for their, more often than not, accurate guiding skills. The Tuktuk are named after their chieftain, Tuk Tock, who became one of the most famous goblins on Zendikar during the events of the original block. I've already done a video on Tuk Tock, coincidentally in my first ever 25 Cards of Christmas series. You can check out his video here or in the description below. But for now, I'll give you the short of his story. Tuk Tock was nothing more than your average run-of-the-mill goblin. He wasn't very strong, nor was he a good fighter. And he seemed to be particularly dumb even for a goblin. But what he did have was bravery, or foolishness, depending on who you asked. Now his tribe at this time coveted the ancient shiny artifacts found deep in Zendikar's abandoned mines and catacombs. Respect was given to those who fetched the shiniest objects. Tuk Tock wanted desperately to gain the respect of others, so he vowed to find and bring back the greatest shiny his tribe's ever seen. He found some ancient ruins and dove deep to claim his prize, his bravery leading him past all the warning signs of danger. Finally, after trudging through what most conscious people would consider life-threatening conditions, Tuk Tock found a shiny worthy of his tribe's respect. Of course, upon touching this artifact, which was stupid in its own right, the goblin triggered a trap which caused an explosion, rending his skin and shattering his bones. Tuk Tock was literally obliterated, nothing was left of him. But, as lucky as the goblin had been up to this point, he still had some luck to spare. The explosion released magic, which had been trapped inside the stone hedrons lining the ruin, causing a very strange reaction. The hedrons were designed to keep the structure of the ruin sound, so when the explosion went off, the magic struggled to collect debris to fill the massive hole which formed. The stone and rock came together, taking a rough humanoid shape. The magic then collected the very soul of Tuk Tock and added it to the construct, giving it life. Somehow, by pure luck and circumstance, Tuk Tock re-emerged as a goblin-shaped stone golem. Although it shared Tuk Tock's memories and mind, it wasn't actually the goblin. It was something completely new. When it pulled itself out of the rubble, it went to the only place it knew, his old tribe. When the construct arrived, it was welcomed by awe and amazement. The others recognized it to be Tuk Tock, now made of shiny magic rocks and artifacts, making him the greatest shiny they had ever seen. Needless to say, they anointed him as their leader and renamed the tribe in his likeness. Tuk Tock the Returned ruled ever since. This leads us to present-day Zendikar, where we find a curious Jace searching for the ancient site which used to house the Eldrazi Titans, the Eye of Ugin. Jace had been there before, but the terrain had changed so much since the Titans' release, that the Mind Mage quickly found himself getting lost in the labyrinth that is the Mountain of Akoum. To add to his troubles, Jace also had to contend with smaller Eldrazi spawn which plagued his every step. He confronted one of these otherworldly beasts while searching for Tuk Tock, the renowned goblin who had traveled all across this wasteland. Now Jace is a skilled mage to be sure, but he isn't much of a fighter. As the monster pounced, he didn't have enough time to properly protect himself with his magic. The Eldrazi had the Mind Mage pinned between a rock and a hard place, His end seemed to be assured until he heard the screeching of a goblin. It wasn't the goblin he was looking for, but a female named Zada. Of course, Jace didn't care, for the huge club she carried made quick work of the Eldrazi. After some introductions, Jace asked Zada how she was so easily able to smash the bony skull of the Eldrazi. The goblin showed off the source of her power, the power of the Tuktuk goblins, the Hedrons. They discovered that the Hedrons held within them magic, a power you could tap into by grinding their stone containers. The magic, which glowed a bright blue when used, seemed to affect the Eldrazi most of all. This is when Jace realized that the club Zada used as a weapon, and the basket she carried on her back, were in fact a mortar and pestle. Learning something new, he thanked Zada and asked her where he could find Tuktuk, which caused Zada to laugh hysterically. The goblin told Jace that Tuktuk was dead, that she had killed him no less. Horrified, Jace was interrupted by Zada's explanation. In the Tuktuk tribe, the goblins feasted on magical stones and rocks in order to gain the power of their beloved leader. It's this practice which has formed strong stony plates on the goblins' heads. Zada, in a weird, somewhat rational way, thought to herself, hey, Tuktuk is the most magical stone of all, why not eat him? And so, apparently, Zada ate Tuktuk the returned. Yeah. Anyway, with Tuktuk now seemingly dead, Jace asked Zada to lead him to the Eye of Ugin, to which she begrudgingly agreed. Once the pair made it there safely, Zada bid the planeswalker farewell, and left to find more Hedrons to grind. Wow, such a heartwarming story. Definitely not weird or cannibalistic at all. Although Tuktuk seems to be no more, it's nice knowing that he was done in by one of his own, for a non-malicious purpose. Zada just used her iconic goblin logic, and acted off her great intelligence. Tuktuk would have been proud, if he wasn't, eaten. Regardless, Zada Hedron Grinder gets a spot on my Christmas tree. Anyway guys, I want to know what you think about Zada and the fate of Tuktuk. Do you like or use her card in any of your decks? Let me know in the comments below. I'd also like to remind you to tune in for tomorrow, where we go over a character whose power and madness served her well as a member of the Cabal. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, Simon here, just letting you know if you liked the video, you can support future content by liking it and sharing it with your friends. You can also support this channel by visiting my sponsors over at abugames.com. abugames.com is a leading online store for all things MTG, and without them, this series wouldn't be possible. You may even consider following me on social media or becoming a patron on Patreon. Through those means, you can stay up to date with the channel along with gaining access to special events and giveaways. You can find those links in the description below. Regardless, I wish you all a happy and safe holiday season.